Thank you for joining us here in Jerusalem. There's no doubt that we're in very hard times. And in hard times, our eyes are upon the Lord. In times like that, we're seeking comfort, but we're also seeking direction. And this is where we find our direction, especially in times like that. Welcome back and shalom. We're sitting here. It's a beautiful evening in Jerusalem, but it is a sad day for us as Israelis. As you all know, at the 7th of October, we were attacked. It was a terrible day, the 7th of October. It's a day that probably will change the state of Israel. Today I have a very important person who represents a very important force, the Red Cross, or the Israeli Magen David Adom, the Star of David. With us, we have the Chief of Staff, Uri Shacham.
Good evening.
Uri, shalom, and welcome to our show.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, explain a few words on Magen David Adom.
Well, Magen David Adom is Israel's national emergency medical and blood services. That means that we provide emergency medical services to the entire country, regardless where you are or regardless who you are, because we serve our people and everyone here.
Arab, Muslim,
Jews,
Christian.
Arab, Christian, everyone. As long as you need help in the state of Israel, Magen David Adom is there for you. One of the basic pillars of Magen David Adom is the people that serve in Magen David Adom. If you go on an ambulance here in Jerusalem, you might find a Muslim, a Christian, and a Jew riding in the same ambulance. Now you smile because it sounds like it sounds like a joke. Three guys are riding an ambulance. This is the reality for Magen David Adom. As long as someone is committed for life-saving in the land of Israel, you are more than welcome to Magen David Adom.
Uri, let's go back to the dark day of the 7th of October. There's no doubt that Magen David Adom, the Israeli Red Cross, were the hero. They arrived there. They were the first one on the scene. Let's go back and tell us what you guys experienced on the 7th of October.
When I think about October 7, I want to go back one day earlier, to October 6. Mm-hmm. I cannot explain why, but our CEO picked up the phone, called all the deputy director generals and told them, listen, I want to have a higher level of alert for Magen David Adom.
And he had no clue.
He had no clue. There was no intelligence that something is going to happen. Nothing whatsoever. He said, I want to have additional 150 ambulance manned, especially in the south. I don't know why they do.
On our channel, we know. It's God himself.
And you know what? This was the miracle for October 7th. Because when Israel was brutally attacked, Magen David Adom was prepared. It was a sign of God. At the end of the day, when people in Israel needed help, Magen David Adom was there for them.
Where were you at 6:30 in the morning? I'm sure you were in bed, but tell us step by step.
So 6:30 in the morning, most of the people of Israel, including myself, are in their bed. And suddenly my radio breaks out and said, there is a barrage of rockets towards the south of Israel and also to the central of Israel. Now, it didn't end. It lasted for 5, 10, 15 minutes. And we said, something is out of the ordinary. This is a sign that something is going on. We immediately manned our 1,400 ambulances that Magen David Adom have in the state of Israel. Because we said this might be a sign for an attack on Israel, not only in the south, but also from Lebanon, maybe from Syria. We need everybody to come and help us. So people were going out of synagogue. People were leaving their families, going to Magen David Adom station, picking up ambulances and wait to the instruction of what to do next. Now, as early as 7 o'clock in the morning, we started to receive phone calls in our emergency dispatches, in Magen David Adom dispatches, saying there are shooting incidents in the kibbutzim near Gaza. There are terrorists in the city of Sderot, which is like 4 kilometers from Gaza. And then we understood that something much bigger than several rockets being shot is happening. And you started by saying that Magen David Adom are the heroes of that day. Let me tell you about the heroes that rushed to a shooting incident scene, and their ambulances were blocked by terrorists, targeting them, the people of Magen David Adom.
Although it's against all the laws of the United Nations.
Any law, the international
Cross.
humanitarian law forbids somebody to target an ambulance. You know, humanity, I think that this is something that we all believe in. Alleviating human suffering, treating a human being as a human being. Not that day. Not that day. We always teach our people to make sure that the scene is safe before you go. You don't rush into a burning house. But we never even imagined that our teams will encounter direct fire directed towards them, that somebody will shoot an ambulance directly in the windshield, trying to prevent us from doing what we do, is help others.
How many years you're in Magen David?
I've been in Magen David Adom for 30 years.
Did you ever see such a crisis like the 7th of October?
I've been serving, as you mentioned, for 30 years. Never in my professional life I witnessed the sights like I've seen what the Hamas terrorists did to innocent civilians, for babies and mothers and elderly people, and for Israelis as a whole. They came with the goal to kill as many Israelis as possible. Now, because Israel protects its people, we have safe rooms or shelters within the houses. And once the barrage of rockets started, people were going into those shelters and waiting them. The terrorists of Hamas didn't care that they couldn't break into those shelters, so they lit out the house. We heard stories about babies suffocating from the smoke that were going into the shelter. We heard about a couple that was burned inside this shelter. And they did things that I thought we only heard what happened in the Holocaust. But now it's the same thing is coming once and once again.
You know, it's interesting that I heard the head of the United Nations criticizing Israel for shooting on an ambulance. How many ambulances were shot at and burned in Magen David Adom?
Magen David Adom, on that October 7th, lost 14 ambulances for Hamas terrorists. Now, those ambulances were going with lights and sirens for incident where Hamas terrorists gunned down civilians, right, where they shot babies, where they shot pregnant mothers, and they were targeted by Hamas. I will tell you a story about a 15 years old young girl from the city of Netivot. She was a Magen David Adom volunteer, because in Magen David Adom you can volunteer from a very early age. And her dream was to become a paramedic. So when she turned 18, she went and undergone a paramedic training done by Magen David Adom. We train all the paramedics in the state of Israel. And she was so professional, and she became a paramedic instructor. That means she actually started teaching others how to become a paramedic. When Hamas started shooting missiles on October 7th, Amit, that's her name, said, I have to do my job. I am not going into the shelter. I am not running away from the kibbutz I'm living here.
18-year-old girl.
I am going to the clinic to treat injured persons from my community.
Wow.
For 8 hours. For 8 hours, she was treating badly injured person in this clinic. While around the clinic, there was Hamas terrorists trying to go in. And at the end, the terrorists went into the clinic and murdered everyone. When they recovered her body 2 days later, they found a tourniquet on her leg. She was hit by Hamas gunfire, but she didn't give up. She said, I am going to treat others while I put my tourniquet. And you know what's more amazing? She was still wearing her exam gloves. She didn't run away. She never left her shift, her duty. She was guided by God to provide life-saving treatment to others, and she lost her life doing this. And you know what? It's not only the legacy of Amit, it's the legacy of everybody that supports Magen David Adom. And this is what's so amazing.
Uri, we're sitting here on the balcony of TBN. There are Christian who loves Israel watching us tonight. Do you have a message that you want to pass to people that loves you and wants to support you?
I do. I turn to everyone that cares for life-saving in the state of Israel. Please support Magen David Adom. Magen David Adom relies on people all around the world to provide us with the so needed medical equipment, with the so needed ambulances that we operate. Those ambulances are actually the chariots of life. They bring paramedics like Amit Mann. They bring hope to people. They bring salvation for anybody who is in need. Please support Magen David Adom.
Uri, continue the great job you guys are doing. I want to thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
And to you, our friends, please keep praying for the peace of Jerusalem. Pray for all those paramedics, all those people who drive ambulance in dangerous places. Israel is going through a terrible nightmare. Uri, thank you very much, and shalom again from Jerusalem.